If you're thinking about buying your first home in the Portland metro area, I think most people start in the wrong place. First, they jump on Zillow, they go to open houses, they start calculating mortgage payments, and before long, they've convinced themselves that they're just not ready. Maybe you told yourself, hey, maybe I just need another couple years to prepare. Or, hey, I probably need about 20% down to buy a house. Or they'll say to themselves, my credit isn't good enough. Or maybe you have the exact opposite problem and you think to yourself, I probably make too much money to qualify for down payment assistance. The problem is, most people are making these decisions without ever talking to someone who can actually tell them where they stand. I've worked with buyers who thought they were years away from buying a home, only to realize that they were much closer than they expected. I've also worked with buyers who didn't know that they qualified for grants or programs that would have saved them a ton of money. So I'll say this, I have clients who went through the Portland Housing Center, now called Arrive, and have saved thousands of dollars on their first home through local programs that they didn't even know existed. So today, I just want to walk through why I think Arrive is one of the best places for first-time buyers to start, what they can actually do, and how they can actually help you build a roadmap towards home ownership. So for everyone who hasn't seen me before, my name is Tran. I'm a realtor and real estate investor here in the Portland metro area, helping buyers through Oregon and Southwest Washington. If you're interested in buying a home or you enjoy home tours, relocation content, and everything related to Oregon real estate, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future home tours or real estate tips. I post new videos every single week. And also, if you're thinking about buying or relocating anywhere in the Portland metro area, I'd love to help. My phone number is 971-285-2002, and my email is steven@diverserg.com. Okay, let's get into it. So, buying a home isn't just about finding the right house. It's about knowing what you can afford, what programs are available, and what steps you should take before you ever start writing offers. And that's exactly where Arrive comes in. You may remember them as the Portland Housing Center, but their mission hasn't changed one bit. They're a local nonprofit that has been helping Portland area residents become homeowners since 1991 through education, financial counseling, and homebuyer assistance. I'm talking about them today because I've had multiple clients work with them over the years, and I've seen how valuable their guidance can be. For example, some clients save money through down payment assistance programs. Others realized that they were closer to buying a home than they thought through the counseling. But also, many of them simply walked away with something they didn't have before, which is a clear plan. And that's really what Arrive provides. They provide guidance, they offer resources, and they help you create a roadmap to not only afford a home, but to become a successful homeowner. The biggest mistake I see isn't having bad credit or not saving enough money. It's assuming that you already know the answer to your home ownership issues. People tell themselves all the time, my credit score is only 660. I still have student loans. I only have $10,000 saved. And also, I probably don't qualify. It ends up being what I call a self-fulfilling prophecy to not even look into a home if you don't even look for a solution. The question isn't, do I qualify? The better question is, what do I need to do to qualify? And that's a completely different mindset. And also, that's the perfect place to start with Arrive. Let's say you decided to reach out. What actually happens with them? A lot of people think it's going to feel like meeting with a lender who's deciding whether to approve them or not, but that's not really how it works. Instead, you'll meet with a HUD-certified housing counselor whose job is to understand your financial picture and help you prepare for home ownership. You'll sit down with them and you'll talk about your income, your debt, credit, your savings, your monthly expenses, and your goals for home ownership. Maybe you're hoping to buy this year, or maybe it's 2 years from now, and that's totally okay. The purpose of having this meeting isn't to rush you into buying a house. And the great part of this is that they're not incentivized to rush you into a home because they're a nonprofit. They're there to figure out where you are today and what steps will move you closer to becoming a homeowner. By the end of your counseling session, you should have a much better understanding of what you need to work on. Maybe it's improving your credit score, maybe it's paying down your debt, and just maybe it's just saving a little bit more for a down payment. Or maybe you'll find out you're already in a better position than you thought. I've seen a ton of those different outcomes, but the most important thing is that you're no longer guessing. you're taking action and you're talking to the right people, and your counselor can help you create a plan and to help you follow it. One thing I really appreciate about Arrive is that they aren't just helping people buy a home. They're trying to help people stay homeowners, and that's a huge difference. For example, just because a lender says you can borrow a certain amount doesn't necessarily mean that's the right payment for your lifestyle. During your counseling session, you'll have conversations about things like, hey, can you comfortably afford this monthly payment? Will you still have savings after you close? Also, can you handle an unexpected repair if the water heater or furnace fails? These conversations matter because home ownership should create stability, not financial stress. And also, that's why I tell my own clients that I don't want to just help them buy their first house. I want to help them build generational wealth and eventually buy their second or third home someday as well. And that starts by making smart decisions on their first purchase. One of the biggest misconceptions that I hear is that I probably make too much money to qualify for down payment assistance. Maybe you do, or maybe you don't. I'll say this, several of these programs will use something called an income limit, and every program has a different income limit. Many of these programs use something called median family income, or I'll just call it MFI for short. Think of MFI as a guideline that helps determine who a program is intended to serve. But here's the important part. There isn't just one MFI limit. Every program is different, the household size matters, where you're buying matters, and the program itself matters. For example, a single buyer may have a different income limit than a family of 4. One part of Portland may have different requirements than another part of Portland. That's why trying to Google your way through eligibility usually creates more confusion than answers. I've had buyers tell me that they were certain that they made too much money to qualify. And after sitting down with a housing counselor, they realized that there were programs available to them. I've also had buyers discover that while one program wasn't a perfect fit, there was another one that was. The takeaway is really simple. Please just don't disqualify yourself. Let someone who understands these programs help you figure out what opportunities are available for you. Another one of the biggest misconceptions I hear is, hey, Steven, what's the best down payment assistance program? And honestly, I just don't really have a perfect answer for you because there's not one program that's best for everyone. It really does depend on your income, your household size, where you're buying, and what your long-term goals are. That's one of the biggest reasons I recommend starting with Arrive. They'll help you narrow down which opportunities actually fit your situation instead of just trying to make you fit into one specific program. Here's just a few examples. One of the more unique programs is called an Individual Development Account, or IDA for short. Here's how it works. If you qualify, every dollar you save towards buying a house can be matched at $5 for every $1 you save, up to a $10,000 match. That's a huge boost if saving for a down payment is your biggest obstacle. Now, of course, there are eligibility requirements, education requirements, and you'll need to save consistently over time. Also, it's not free money that just shows up overnight. But if you're planning to buy a home in the future anyways, this could be an incredible way to accelerate your savings. Another program Arrive administers is the Mortgage Assistance Program, or MAP for short. Instead of helping you save for a down payment, MAP helps you make home ownership more affordable by assisting you with financing. Depending on your situation, it may reduce how much you need to borrow through a traditional mortgage and could even eliminate the need for private mortgage insurance. Again, as I mentioned, not everyone qualifies, but it's another example of why it pays to explore your options before assuming you know what's available. Some assistance programs don't give you money at all. Instead, they just make the home itself more affordable. I've covered the Portland SDC Exemption Program several times on this channel. These are brand new homes sold below market value because certain development fees have been waived. Some things I've noticed personally are that they tend to pop up in some of the most popular neighborhoods in Portland. There are also still beautiful new construction homes, but there are definitely trade-offs. There are income limits, and generally that's based off the median family income for the area. Also, they're determined by household size as well. So a home in Sellwood might have a different income limit than a house on Mississippi Street. There are also generally occupancy requirements, so don't expect to turn it into a rental right away. And there are resale restrictions depending on the program. The majority of what I've seen through the SDC program are townhouse-style homes, and they don't have garages, but they tend to be in extremely walkable neighborhoods. I've personally sold SDC exemption homes for my clients in both Sellwood and in the Mississippi neighborhood. They ended up being the perfect fit for my clients who found an SDC home with generous street parking, or from our other client who doesn't tend to drive much anyways. In the end, they both ended up in beautiful new construction in Portland, which is extremely rare to find. I'll say this, it's definitely one of the most affordable ways to purchase a brand new home in Portland. Another program that I've talked about quite a bit is the Beaverton Welcome Home program. Eligible buyers may receive up to $50,000 towards their down payment, and that's assistance that can be forgiven if the program requirements are met, which I will go through right now. For one, you must be a first-time home buyer, you must currently live or work in the city of Beaverton, and also, you must purchase a home within Beaverton city limits. You also have to complete an 8-hour HUD-certified home buyer class, and you have to complete one pre-purchase counseling session with an Arrive counselor. And you also have to remember that still, this is a loan, but it's fully forgiven after 15 years of occupancy. I'll say this, it's definitely a competitive program and there are limited amounts of funds offered per year, but it's another great example of why you shouldn't assume that you don't qualify before exploring your options. And then there's Proud Ground, which takes a completely different approach. Instead of buying both the home and the land, buyers purchase the home while the land stays in a community land trust. Because you're not purchasing the land, the upfront purchase price is lower, making home ownership much more attainable. The trade-off is that when you eventually sell, there's a formula that limits how much appreciation you get to keep. What I've seen is generally you can only receive about 25% of the appreciation, which still can be significant. And for some buyers, that's not the right fit. But for others, it's exactly what allows them to become homeowners in the first place, and it helps them to have a nice and stable payment down the line. Hopefully, you're noticing a pattern. Every program is just a little bit different. Some of these will help with your savings, some of these will help with your finance, some of these will reduce the cost of the home itself. And also, some are designed for certain cities, while others are based on income or household size, or a combination of all these things. That's why I don't tell buyers, hey, go apply for this program. I tell them, let's figure out which programs make the most sense for you. The best part of this is that you can combine several of these programs together. For example, you can start an IDA match savings program. You can utilize one of the many down payment assistance grants available if you qualify. And then you can also use it to purchase an SDC Exemption home or a Proud Ground house and save on the purchase price right there. If you plan correctly, you may have to bring little to no money at all for an amazing house. And I've had clients do exactly that. After everything we talked about, you may think the biggest benefit of Arrive is the down payment assistance. And honestly, I don't think that's what it is. Don't get me wrong, saving thousands of dollars is fantastic. If you qualify for one of these programs, that's an amazing opportunity. But I think the biggest value is having a plan to buy a house. I've met so many buyers who spent years trying to figure out everything on their own. They've watched all the YouTube videos like mine, they've read articles online, they've asked their friends for advice, and they still weren't sure if they were doing the right things. By just having a 1-hour conversation with a housing counselor, that can give you more clarity than months of trying to piece everything together yourself. Instead of wondering what to do next, you leave knowing exactly what your next steps are. Maybe it's working on improving your credit, maybe it's saving another $5,000, or hey, maybe it's taking a home buyer education class. Or maybe it's finding out that you're ready to meet with a lender. Whatever the next step is, it's very specific to you. One thing I really appreciate about Arrive is their focus on education. A lot of assistance programs require home buyer education, and some people see that as just another box to check. I actually think it's one of the most valuable parts of the process. Buying a home is probably the biggest financial decision that you'll ever make. Wouldn't you want to understand how the process works before signing hundreds of pages of paperwork? Their classes cover topics like budgeting, credit, the mortgage process, inspections, closing costs, and what to expect from start to finish. Those are conversations that I personally have with my buyers anyways, but if you've had a class on it, it won't be so overwhelming. The difference is that buyers who take these classes usually come into the process with a lot more confidence. They know exactly what questions to ask, they understand what's happening, and when it's time to write an offer, they're making informed decisions instead of emotional ones. One of the reasons I really wanted to make this video is because I've seen this process work personally. I've had clients who work with the Portland Housing Center before they became Arrive and saved thousands of dollars through local home buyer programs. I've also had clients who didn't qualify for major assistance programs, but they still benefited from the counseling because they finally had a roadmap. By the time we started looking at homes, they understood their budget, they knew what they were comfortable spending, and they were confident moving forward. As a realtor, those are some of my favorite buyers to work with. For one, they're prepared, they're asking great questions, and when the right home comes along, they're ready to make a decision, and they either have great down payment assistance grants or loan products, or possibly they have an IDA matched savings account to help with those costs. So if you're thinking about buying your first home in the Portland metro area, don't wait until you think that you're ready. Find out what ready actually looks like. Whether that's 6 months from now or 2 years from now, there's value in understanding your options today. Maybe you'll discover a program that you didn't even know existed. Maybe you just realize that you need a little bit more time. Or maybe you'll find out that you're a lot closer than you think. Either way, you'll have a plan, and that's far better than guessing. If you'd like to learn more about Arrive, I'll leave a link to their website in the description below so you can explore their programs and schedule an appointment with a housing counselor. I'd love to hear from you. What is the biggest thing holding you back from buying a home? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I can. And if you're thinking about buying anywhere in the Portland metro area or Southwest Washington, I'd be happy to help. Whether you're buying your first home, you're relocating to the area, or you're just trying to understand your options, feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description, along with the Portland relocation guide if you're planning a move. You can easily also reach me by my phone, which is 971-285-2002, or you can email me at steven@diverserg.com. Also, if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed. I post new videos every single week about buying homes, living in Portland, relocating to Oregon or Southwest Washington, and also real estate investing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.